Well, we can now speak to Dr. Michael Slobodchikov, who's from Troy University, Alabama, and he joins us now on the program. How do you read this situation? This deadline, which Ukraine claims to have been set for now, as we can understand things at the moment, doesn't seem to have been executed. Was this just bluff on the part of Russia, do you think?
I have a hard time believing in this ultimatum simply because it doesn't make much logical sense for Russia to go in guns blazing and create a situation that's far worse than it is now. I think that if there's an ultimatum, it probably came from more local authorities and not from Moscow itself.
And just talk us through how you see Russia's position on this, because if you look at the deal signed a few weeks ago between Viktor Yanukovych and those three EU foreign ministers from Poland, France and Germany, the new authorities, the interim government here, would appear to have flouted what was arranged.
I think that's exactly what happened, and that's what caused Russia to really worry, because they were worried that the interim government wouldn't abide by the agreements allowing them access to Sevastopol and the ports there for the Black Sea Fleet. So I think that the main concern there was to move in and to ensure that they had access to the ports and wouldn't have any disruption there, as that is vital to their security interests.
Do you ever see President Putin giving up Crimea?
I think that he might do so if there is a referendum on secession in Crimea and eastern Ukraine, and the ability for democracy really to resolve this dispute.
How much of this, though, plays into the demonstrations against President Putin in Russia itself in 2011, and his fear that if something that happens in Ukraine can actually develop into a complete overthrow of government and a president, the same could happen to him?
I think theoretically that's possible, although in this case I think that overwhelmingly it was probably the fear of losing the position for the Black Sea Fleet that led him to do this.
And as far as the threats and the sense of retaliation from the West, from America and the international community, how much will that actually bother President Putin?
I don't think it will bother him that much because, as was previously stated, there isn't much that the U.S. can do on its own. If it's joined by the EU, it can hurt Russia more, although the EU imports about a third of its gas and energy needs from Russia, and so it would really end up hurting the EU just as much, if not more, if they were to impose such sanctions on Russia.
Okay, Dr. Michael Slobodchikov from Troy University in Alabama. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. We will be monitoring all the developments and events in Crimea and indeed to the east of where I'm standing now, just above Independence Square. People still singing here on the stage behind me, even though it's just before dawn here. But we'll be monitoring all the developments in the east of the country and in Crimea here on BBC News. You can get much more on the website as well, bbc.com/news. But for now, from me, Tim Wilcox and the team here, very early in the morning in Kiev, back to you in London.